Hello legends, in this video I'm going to give you a beginner tutorial on how to set up and how to use Cursor AI for the first time. So if you're not very familiar with writing code or coding on your computer, but you heard of Cursor AI and you're like, oh, this seems pretty cool, maybe I can use it, then this is specifically a beginner step 1 tutorial. So it's made specifically for you. But if you have done coding before, you know how to use all this stuff, this might be probably a little bit too slow paced for you. So you might just want to skip out of this video. All right, let's get into it. So this is the Cursor AI website. Now I'm going to scroll through and tell you some cool things about this. You can actually watch their introductory video on here, but it might be a little bit complicated, especially if you haven't done coding before, because it kind of starts midway. It's already got some kind of code there. It shows you how AI can help you write code, and it skips some of the foundational steps, so like how to set it up, which we're going to go through this just in a second, but I want to flick through here and show you. Okay, so there's a chat interface on the right hand side. This is where the code lives on the left hand side. It can predict what the next code should be for you. So realistically, if you can write code, you will be hanging out in this panel here, writing the actual code, kind of like you're typing in a Word document. If you could write code like that, then you're here and the AI will still help you because it can predict what your next line of code might be. But if you're like me and you don't know how to write code, you're going to be in the right hand side in the chat panel pretty much all the time. So scrolling down, the other cool thing is you can write in plain English. You can write in plain English and say, hey, I want to make a HTML page that has a text input where the user enters their name and then a button that says submit, and it sends the name to wherever else you want to send it. So that's super cool, and that's exactly how I code. So this is beautiful. And the final thing I want to mention is you can bring your own API key. So Cursor AI actually integrates a bunch of different AI models. I use OpenAI a lot, so I actually have an account. I can go into my OpenAI dashboard, get a new API key, and then plug it into Cursor. I'll show you how to do that as well. But you can plug it into Cursor and then just use your own AI account. So scrolling up to the top of the website, you can just click this button, download, and install the actual application. So I've already done this, but when you install this, you're going to be prompted to enter some information, and then there'll be like 2 additional buttons on the bottom. Just click yes to both of them. Just install them both. If you don't like them, uninstall them later on. But after you install this, go to NodeJS.org, and you have to install this as well. So I write in JavaScript, and because I write in JavaScript, you need to install NodeJS in order to run those functions. So imagine you're a chef. So inside Cursor AI, that's like your recipe book. All of your functions, all the code, all the apps you want to make are going to be inside Cursor AI. But in order to actually prepare the recipe and make the food, you need some kind of kitchen. So NodeJS is like the kitchen for JavaScript. There's different languages, so you got Python as well, and there'll be different libraries that you might need to install. But for JavaScript, you get NodeJS. So also install this. So like download it, install it. It's free, it's super quick to install. And then when you get to Cursor AI, if you have any problems, just go into the chat interface and say, hey, I downloaded Node.js, and what do I need to do now? It's not working. So it'll tell you anyways. You'll be completely fine. When you open up Cursor AI for the first time, it'll look something like this. So what you have here is a button to open up a folder. So whenever you want to start working on a new project, I recommend opening up a brand new folder, like creating a brand new folder specifically for that project, because it makes it super easy for you to manage your files. Before I open a folder, I'm just going to go through some of these buttons here, because right now, if you're seeing nothing on a screen like this, you might be like, holy shit, what am I doing? Where do I start? Like this I don't even know how to start this machine. Like what's going on? On the top right hand side, you've got 3 toggles. The first toggle brings up a left hand side sidebar. So again, you got a button here that says open folder or clone repository. So if you want to download a code from GitHub or some other place, you can use this button, but we're going to keep it super simple in this video. We're just going to open up a folder, but I'm not going to get to that just yet. I want to run through the other toggles as well. So then if I press this other toggle panel, and by the way, if I just press the first one again, it just closes that side panel. So this side panel, this is where all the recipes are going to be. So as soon as we create a folder, any file that we insert, again, you'll see this in a second, it's all going to be on our left-hand side. Next, we open up the second toggle, and this is our terminal. So let's say from the analogy I used before, on the left-hand side, you got your recipes. This terminal, so to speak, this is going to be how you operate the kitchen appliances. So you've got your recipe to make a cake, you've got all your flour, you've got your egg, you need to whisk it up, and then you might need to put it into the oven. Well, in the terminal, that's where you whisk, that's where you put it into the oven. So this is how you're going to be running your functions. So when you write a script, this is how you like press go on a script. Next, we have the right-hand side panel. And this is actually the chat interface that we saw on a website before, where this is where you can chat with the AI. So we're going to actually use this panel to create a new app for us. we're going to be creating a Flappy Bird game. It's going to be super basic. It's not going to be anything fantastic at all, but I'm going to show you how you can just make your first script or game or whatever you want using this interface. We're going to start completely from scratch. Okay, so now that we have these three things out of the way, let's go into this settings button. So in the settings panel is where you can upgrade your account, but more importantly, what I recommend you do is put a comment here that says, hey, whenever we're speaking about code and you're returning code for me, always return the full code and then always put logs into the code. And always at the very end, when you give me the code, just give me like a 1 or 2 bullet point summary of what you've changed. So you want those three things. One, you want the entire code, specifically because the AI will tend after a while to just give you code snippets and it will expect you to take that code, copy it and paste it into the function. When I first started coding, that was so difficult for me to even just see like what's going on. All I saw was just the matrix on the screen. So by saying, hey, just give me the full code every time. If you're a complete beginner, that's going to be a really easy way for you to just copy the entire code and replace the entire code. The second thing you want to do is you always want to put logs inside your code. So for JavaScript, it's called a console log. All you're doing is basically giving commentary on what the code is doing. So let's say I'm writing a code that's going to log into Google Maps and it's going to scrape Google Maps for me. So the code, as it's executing, it might have a log saying, signed into Google Maps, open up the web page, scraped and found 3 search results, opened up search result 1. So it'll just tell you what it's doing at each moment. So the final thing you want to do here is also put down, summarize what edits you've made. So like I said, when you get the full code, it's super handy because you can just copy and paste, but you also want to start learning how to code. So by it telling you exactly what it's changed, you can look at your old code and the new code and just start trying to find the differences in what's going on. At least that's what I was doing when I was first learning to code. In the models tab, this is where you will put your API key. If you want to override whatever models that they're using, whatever are the default settings, I would just leave it like that for now, especially if this is your first time using Cursor AI. So I'd completely leave it. Now let's close this tab so that we just close the settings page and let's open up a new folder. What I recommend you do is just click on new folder completely and just call this for now Cursor and click create and then open this Cursor folder. So now we're working within this folder. Any script we create, any app we create, anything we create is going to be completely contained within this folder. So now the first thing that we want to do is let's just reopen our terminal on the bottom and reopen the right hand side panel for the chat. And this is going to be our familiar interface. Whenever we want to do anything, write a code or whatever, let's just have all of this open and become familiar with just using this. So on the left hand side, you can actually just create a new file by pressing this new file button or a new folder by creating this new folder button. The file or the folder that you create will be within that main folder that you just created. So in our case, it's going to be within the Cursor folder. The best practice is just have one folder per thing that you're building. So I wouldn't have 10 separate functions in here. I would just build one project out, then I would open up a brand new folder. So on the right hand side, I actually want to build something out. So I'm going to prompt it and say, hey, I want to build out a Flappy Birds game using basic HTML and JavaScript. Can you help me out? All right, so there we are. Hey, I want to build a Flappy Birds game. Can you please build it out for me? So I'm going to hit enter and now we're generating our code. Okay, awesome. So we have HTML here and actually we have some JavaScript infused into the HTML. And then it says save this code in the HTML file. And let's say you just call it flappybird.html. So I'm going to copy this. Whenever you're using the AI, just use the name that it gives you. Pretty much always, it'll just tell you, hey, this is your JavaScript file name. Use that same file name because if it ever references that file name in a future code that it writes for you, it's just easy to keep it consistent. So that's why I'm copying this file name here. So I'm pasting it in here and then I'm going to hit enter. And now I have this flappy_bird.html file and I can put the code into here. So I'm just going to go to the code again and I'm going to hit apply and I'm going to hit continue. And now it's going to push this code from the chat into the left-hand side panel. And now we have our code here. Okay. And I'm just going to hit accept up top over here. So on the very bottom of the cursor tool, there is a button that says go live. All right. So I've just opened up Cursor on the left-hand side and then a brand new browser on the right-hand side. So after you hit that go live button, it's going to send this HTML page as a virtual page in your browser. So this is actually what we have so far. As you can see, there's nothing here. It's just a square. So I'm going to screenshot this square and I'm going to go back. Let me just make this panel a little bit wider. I'm going to go back here and say, thank you very much, but nothing is displaying here. All I see is a box in my browser. So what I've just done is I've uploaded this screenshot directly into the chat interface so you can see exactly what I'm speaking about. And then I've prompted saying, hey, nothing is happening here. And the other cool thing is that the flappy_bird.html file is part of this chat. So now when I'm speaking with this chat, if you're looking at this file and you're making changes directly to the file, you can imagine if I had 3 or 4 other files here and they were all interrelated, I can just click this plus button and if they would be all listed here. So I would just click each file that I want to include in this chat and the chat would reference that code as well. So I'm going to click done. So I've got my image uploaded. I've got the chat attached to the Flappy Bird HTML. And now I'm just going to hit enter and see what we come out with. Okay, so it's basically giving me some styling and some additional scripts to include. And I'm just going to say, can you please return the updated HTML file? So you can actually just click apply from here and it'll update your code here. But I'm going to show you a different way to do this. I'm just going to backspace the entire code that's here. And I'm going to copy this code from the chat window, go back and then paste it in. Now on our viewing screen in our browser, I'm going to click reset. Okay, so there we are. Now when I reset the page, you can see it immediately starts and I just need to, okay, this is actually very difficult. Oh man, hang on. Oh, this is not easy at all. Wow, can I use a spacebar? I can use a spacebar as well. All right guys, so this is the entire beginner's tutorial. I hope it wasn't too slow for you. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like and subscribe to my page. If you want to see some more Cursor AI content, please comment below what you want to see. All right guys, and that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. See ya.